Speaking of the end times, the human race may not die out. The polar bears, the penguins, extinct species, the bees, they may survive the coming crisis. But if Fred Gutfeld has anything to say about it, that's his name, right? Led Gutfeld, Busta Gutfeld, I like to call him, has any say, humor would be an endangered species and never be seen again. It will go the way of the dodo. This is, of course, the reaction to Dems say MAGA is a threat from within and use fear to win. Well, first of all, thank you, Glenn Buttfeld, for pointing out that Dems are winners. I mean, we're out of Afghanistan, the infrastructure bill, the CHIPS Act, deficit cut in half, student loan relief. I mean, there's a myriad of reasons why you're absolutely right. We do win and win and win. I'm almost tired of winning, but I don't think I'm going to be. Also, I appreciate you right next to the, you blocking out the word Feld in your name and just pointing out gut as you do a one-cheek sneak. Secondly, you're watching Hal Sparks Mega Worldwide. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Give a thumbs up. Support the show in any way you can because, for the record, I do this little show on a shoestring. I made these graphics myself. I made that little frame around my Venmo myself. I did that. I even put a little shadow on it to give it some depth. I put this on here. I made the little thing over there. I have a can of probiotic soda right here, just out of screenshot, so you know I'm human. Our patrons got me this microphone and the camera that we're shooting through, and help build out this system, and continue to. So patreon.com/HalSparks. This asshole makes probably about like a couple $1 million a year, and they dumped at least $250,000 into this set. I mean, it looks like it. They bought it on eBay, but they definitely spent the money, because if you don't spend the money, they're not going to give it to you next year. So Gutfeld says Dems say MAGA is a threat from within. Within the Republican Party, I think, arguably, there are Republicans who say that. And then, of course, use fear to win. Also, we win. And are we the one saying that, they're bringing crime, they're coming across our border, they're murdering people, and let's just stop saying they're nice people. Okay, here we go. And I think he's about to make a fart sound with his face.
Democrats say MAGA is a threat from within. But Bill Clinton says Republicans use fear to win.
Is reading that hard?
Yesterday on CNN, humidor expert Bill Clinton.
That's a cigar joke. For cigars he got as a gift that he used as a sexual apparatus when he had an affair.
Discuss the Democrats' midterm.
Meanwhile, Greg used to have a guest on his show who was a shrink who would diagnose Democrats from afar. He used to dose and fuck his patients. He lost his license and went to jail. Anyways, you were saying.
Chances. I wonder if the Republicans always close well. Why?
The Republicans always close well. Why? Because they find some new way to scare the living daylights out of swing voters about something. That's what they did in 2021, where they made critical race theory sound worse than smallpox.
Well, it is.
All right. Well, I'm just, for the record, I feel both of them I'm not particularly worried about right now, unless Republicans deregulate the world.
So he claims Republicans win by scaring voters.
Again, that was taken as a punchline. I honestly thought there was going to be a follow-up line to that. I literally thought I've had a twinge of guilt that I interrupted the flow of language, and he was like, well, it is the punchline. No.
Voters, which is pretty hypocritical considering he scared Epstein to death.
Didn't Epstein party with Trump and die while Trump was president?
And really, yeah.
1 second, if I could. Yep, there he is. Good stuff. You know what I mean? Like, what? Come on. What more could you want? Is it frozen? What is happening? Okay. Anyways, scroll, you bastard. Scroll. I think that's a 1992, Mar-a-Lago. Probably even in an age where this is pre-Viagra, so.
And you want fear stoking? What about weeks of January 6 hearings designed to portray Trump voters as terrorists? And what?
Didn't they call themselves domestic terrorists? And by the way, it wasn't Trump voters, fucko. It was the people who attacked the Capitol and the people who told them to attack the Capitol. Again, this is that glomming idea. It's like the all true Scotsman kind of fallacy, which would be, you know, the opposite of the no true Scotsman, is that if they attack one of us, they attack all of us. And all of us are even people who don't agree with us, but that were, you know, in the neighborhood or of thought at the time.
What if Joe's horrific speech filmed in front of Dracula's castle? That speech
Independence Hall
was so scary, Joe would have crapped his pants had he been listening.
Well, I will say, Trump has actually done that.
What if climate change, abortion, guns, everything the Dems talk about is stoked with fear?
Yeah, it's so scary. Who's afraid of taking away women's rights? Why would anyone fear rampant gun dumping? Who gives a shit if the planet burns up?
Except, of course, crime. Then it's who cares? I got private security. But it
1 second. One moment. You mean this guy? Hi, how are you? I'm Hal Sparks. Sometimes my job is too easy, and I thank people like Greg Buttface, who tries so hard. Like, when this is, if you want to, I forget, I want to say it was Beavis and Butthead or something, but somebody was like on one of the videos and they're like, these guys need to try harder about one of the bands. That's what I feel every time I see Greg Gutfeld. Seriously. This is an example of trying too hard and just whiffing fucking everything.
Biden smeared MAGA Republicans as threats to democracy so effectively, one pollster says they'll be harder to poll. Quote, I call this new group submerged voters. They aren't putting stickers on their cars, signs in their yards, posting their opinions, or even answering polls.
Yeah, they're not even voting.
Biden's attacks on MAGA Republicans has created an army of voters who will be virtually impossible to poll and more difficult still to estimate.
Yeah, because they've given up on Trump. People aren't pulling their fucking yard signs because Biden called the MAGA Republicans a danger or a threat to society. They're pulling their yard signs because Trump was caught with national secrets, and that was the last straw.
So it looks like it's the Republicans, not the Dems, who are scared for their safety.
Yeah, I don't think they're worried. Maybe, is that why they want children to have AR-15s? That sounds like someone who's afraid.
But how scary do the Dems think Republicans really are? It's like they're living in a horror movie.
Oh, this is gonna be a. They're gonna make a sketch, aren't they? I'm afraid to push. The only scary thing about this is watching it. Oh God, it's more zombies.
They came from beyond the grave.
Oh God, I can't.
From beyond space.
Oh God.
From
beyond Twitter. What do you think? The blue hair somethings, monsters of some shit.
beyond Florida. Not
What? From beyond Florida? You mean like Cuba or the Virgin Islands? International waters?
night of the
Oh, I see. So I thought the Republicans were supposed to be afraid of the Dems, and this was going to be a reference to them. How are they beyond Florida? Okay. Louisiana, probably the panhandle.
living conservatives.
They're laughing at their own bit, and it's brutal.
Driven by an evil force called the Constitution. Obsessed with guns.
Yeah, it's just a kid hunting. I don't see any teachers, Pa. Don't look over there. There's a group of Cub Scouts.
God.
That's interesting. That looks like Gob.
Getting up and going to work.
Is it? Do they fear the diversity of the workplace from the stock footage you bought? Look at that. Hold on one second. I gotta back this up.
God. Getting up.
By the way, and God apparently is only Catholic. Like, all right. This is a fair. This looks like a bunch of liberals. Not this group itself. I swear to God, this literally looks like footage they would use as Democrats in some other footage.
Up and going to work.
What are those? Those people aren't going to work. They're are they all greeters at Walmart?
They could be anywhere. At your job. At your school board meeting. At that vegan coffee shop where the service is bad, but the wait staff is diverse and there's a homeless man living in the gender-neutral bathroom.
That's the the comedic argument here is that even in that place, conservatives hang out, and you're never going to be safe from them.
Well, probably not there. Shambling.
And then we'll use
Reanimated corpses. Yeah, not that one. Undead. Unmasked. Feasting on human brains.
And again, are these supposed to be the conservatives or the...
So if you're a Democrat, don't worry. Yet. Night of the...
Oh, I see. Night of the Living Conservatives is going to be election night. Because they're going to... It's not like this... They're transitioning premises mid-joke to that will be the... I'm tired. I'm going to doze off.
Living conservatives.
And I would like to say that I appreciate that this is better than them filling this time with one of them talking.
Rated R for Republican.
Kat, I just had a mild epiphany.
No, Lord.
I'd like to share it with you. Would you like to hear it?
Yeah, sure.
Both
It's that I will never have a strong epiphany.
sides tend
And Steve Ducey is there.
to use fear as a persuasion tool because it's the most effective one. Republicans do it, and they have legitimate fears about crime, and Democrats do it. It's always about racism. Maybe that's what...
Which is not legitimate, by the way, apparently. That's the argument here is that a fear of racism is not a legitimate fear. A fear of crime is.
The libertarians fail. They never use fear as a weapon.
Libertarians never use fear as a weapon? Are you out of your fucking mind? They're anarchists, you moron.
Maybe they should.
Is she a libertarian? Is that the case we're making?
What do you
Oh, I mean, I'm pretty afraid.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you're considering your workplace and the fact that they all worship a dude who grabs women without asking. I can understand how your trepidation.
What are you afraid of?
What am I not afraid of?
Right. I mean, Hannity works there.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's something really bad
Have you ever been near Tucker's bathroom?
could happen at any moment.
That's
Worst
true.
things, you don't have any warning.
Mm-hmm, that's true.
Like Greg's jokes?
True.
Well, I mean, you certainly aren't burdened with a setup, but then the punchline never comes. So I take it back.
Pretty damn depressing.
Now tie that into the segment.
Okay, well, I don't know. I don't know
This is good. So far, this is good. I take back what I said. This is must-see TV.
how much time we had here. Okay, I think also that it's
She wrote it down, motherfucker. Okay, so side note, and then we'll get to this. I did a show a couple of times. Byron Allen has this show, Comics Unleashed. And dude makes bank on this fucking show. And he does it in the studio that he owns. He's kind of like he's the TV version of Tyler Perry. Like Tyler Perry does the movies, he does the TV part. He's got this little studio, he does this like judge show, and then he does Comics Unleashed in the same room. And he's got this little room, he just makes all the productions in one building, right? They just rotate them all day long as live shows, and then they move on and they shoot. And during the show, it's called Comics Unleashed, and it's the most leashed you will be as a comic in your fucking life, because you have to send them your bits written out. You have to type out your bits that you're going to do on the show, and then reference them. And there's got to be a last line and a first line of the bit that they've got to use to cue. And then Byron will, the illusion being that, okay, we'll look at your bits and we'll try and coordinate them so it flows like a conversation, and then he'll toss them around like a genius. Doesn't even fucking bother. He just ping pongs back and forth between bits. It's bizarre. And he'll go like, Gary, I understand your mom just moved in with you. Yeah, he did a bit. And then as soon as the bit's done and he knows what the last line is, he doesn't go, yeah, your mom, you should hear what his mom does, because she's got a cat who da-da-da, and he transitions that. He just goes, waits for the guy to finish his line, and then he goes, clap, clap, clap. He literally says clap, clap, clap. He says clap, clap, clap. The audience claps. And then during that clap, which they cut through, he goes to whoever the next person is on his list and says, hey, Sarah, I understand you've got 2 cats now. That's it. And then he bounces it. It's terrible. It is just ridiculous. But it's not fluid. It's so fucking ham-handed and awkward. And yeah, it's very condescending. It's brutal. Oh no, it's not like Jeb Bush. They cut that part out. He goes clap, 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 because he's directing the show from the seat. So he's basically like he doesn't even trust his warm-up person or the jokes to be funny. It's so weird. Anyways, this is that without hiding it. See her list right there? They went through these segments, and Greg was like, after that, I'm going to say the thing about fear, and then I'm going to throw it to you, and you go to the things we wrote down that she's got written out. It's just, oh, God. There's too much work going into it for it to be this bad. You can free ball it, and it wouldn't suck this much.
It's not just about the things that Biden says about Trump supporters. It's also, if you look at what's been in the news, the FBI treating parents who,
who threatened the lives of vice principals and school board members.
have concerns about the school board.
Yeah, just concerns. If you have a concern, excuse me, step outside, please. Yes. Do you have any, I'm going to pat you down because I like it. Do you have any concerns in your pockets? Because if I find one on you, I might have to shoot you. Concerns.
They're teaching in school as domestic terrorists. People who have any sort of appreciation for, American Revolution symbols are violent extremists.
Yes. American Revolution symbols. More on the Confederate flag was a Civil War symbol. The hell are you talking about? I'm sorry. do we miss something? Do I not know that she has a history of dressing up like daughters of the British side of the revolution or some shit?
Yeah.
I think it's past.
What do you mean, yeah? No, back the fuck up. What do you mean, revolution? What? Oh, you think 1776? Is that what you think? Just people who like 1776. Oh, you mean the people who are calling for open bloodshed?
The point of people being concerned about if I say I support Trump, what people think.
They'll think you're stupid and gullible and an asshole and worst of all, you're not actually conservative. You're just gross. You don't actually give a shit about the country, or you'd have gotten us out of Afghanistan and passed a fucking infrastructure bill. You don't give a fuck.
And now it's like, if I say I'm a conservative, what might they do?
Nothing. Because if you say you're a conservative, that's not you saying you're MAGA or a MAGA conservative. There's a distinction. Say it. Seriously. He makes a distinction in the fucking speech between run-of-the-mill Republicans and MAGAts.
Yeah.
So I think that's where more of the concern comes from.
Yeah, just saying conservative and you could get a pie in the face, or they might, set fire to your show notes.
Terrence, this is a very good point that the young lady just made.
That we wrote down and we talked about before the show that I have in this stack of shit I'm carrying. Like, what is this? Are these some of the Mar-a-Lago docs?
After relentless prodding on my behalf.
Right, see that? He's checking the list. Is anybody less fucking capable of doing a show?
Isn't it funny? It's the
he's awful at this. Now I'm aggravated as a former show host. This isn't the hard part, fucko. It's not. Especially if you've got teleprompters up where you can go, you talk to her, she's got her piece of go, that was good, engage. They just don't have somebody who will cut back and forth. Nobody's doing it. They're supposed to cut to them, sit on them, say their piece, cut back, sit on them. Say, whoever directs this fucking show is not interested in switching live. They're just setting it up. This is all producer driven, and this is all Greg Gutfeld fucking corralling every moment into a fucking cul-de-sac. God damn.
MAGA Republicans that actually have to be scared because
they actually have to be scared. How weird is that? And they're the ones with the guns threatening people. Isn't that weird? Open carry people are afraid to say that they want a revolution. People are embarrassed to say hang Mike Pence.
They're the ones being branded as dangerous.
It's so funny.
You know what? It's crazy because I'm MAGA.
Oh, yeah.
I'm MAGA, okay?
Not really.
Yeah. They call him, I'm MAGA.
Are you MAGA?
Yeah, I'm MAGA,
Are
baby.
you MAGA?
Yeah, it's a MAGA. By the way, this is a MAGA safe space, by the way. These are people that mock safe spaces who only hang out in safe spaces. They're literally in this space. That's why they brought him on.
Yeah. Little MAGA over here. But
I think it's MAGA.
They are calling me a threat.
Hold on. What the fuck did he say? What the fuck did Greg say?
Little MAGA over here. But
I think it's MAGA.
They are calling
MAGA.
You say, I think he's Draga?
Yeah. Little MAGA over here. But
I think it's MAGA.
They are calling me a threat. A MAGA threat. I am 5'4", and I weigh 120 pounds. And I'm a threat. I am scared to play football.
Well, if you cheat, I think, or if your idea of playing football is ignoring the rules when your side loses, all right.
I am not a threat.
Yeah, we're not worried about you, dude.
This is crazy, okay? This is crazy. But the Republicans do not have to scare people because the Democrats are scaring the hell out of people with high inflation, with these high gas prices.
Yeah, that's what they're scared of.
Scaring people with the IRS.
Yeah.
Yeah. Everybody's scared of the IRS. And you know what? They're so scared of the IRS that we have to keep reminding people that they hired 87,000 new IRS agents because they were understaffed by 40,000. And there's a new law that taxes billion-dollar companies that are most of them multinationals as well, that have subsidiaries in other countries where they might hide other funds, and therefore that you're going to need an army of accountants to get that money.
Yeah. They coming after people for $600.
Yes.
No, they're not.
With pistols.
Yeah.
No, they're not.
It's crazy.
It is crazy. The notion that they are is crazy.
It is.
They are not coming after people with $600 with pistols, unless they are the local police and that person took $600 and it's not there and they also have a pistol.
Crazy, Steve.
It is crazy. And you know what? I think he's absolutely right. I mean, what is more scary today than a gallon of milk that costs more than a gallon of gas?
I like that because I hate milk.
You're lactose
Disgusting.
intolerant.
It's
Where is it? Here we go. This is what he's referring to. This is, I want to say Target. Hold on. Gallon of milk. Gallon of milk, $3.69. If you're making the case that there's $5, $6, $7, $8 gasoline out there, and that this is actually more than gas, you get my point. Okay, the other thing is, price of milk chart. Okay, so this is, I guess, see, this is the Fred. Hold on one second. The average milk data, historical 2023 forecast. Here's the whole thing. Where's milk? U.S. dollars, is that by, what's this by? U.S. dollar, Western Tono, offered trading and contract difference. Okay, here we go. I'm trying to find the milk is going down in price. Here we go. These are our prices. This is where I'm looking in here. This is it by like by the tonnage in hundreds of thousands. So hold on one second. It's 380. So this is the average price. Here you go. So this is the average price. This is where it is right now. It's down below that now. It's obviously 360. We just looked at it on there. This is the average price at 4194. It was at, in 2008, right before the crash, it was at 377. And the dollar was worth less. The dollar's incredibly strong right now, even still. So there we go. So we're almost at parity here. And it's on its way back down, by the way. This increase right here, that's what they're talking about. But it was right here before, like, this looks like if you take out all the volatility, this looks like a steady climb versus demand and availability over time. And it's going to go back down. So, and it's cheaper. Apparently, gas has gone down.
Mucus. Let's be honest. It's cattle mucus.
Yeah,
It's not cattle mucus. It's cattle milk. It's cow milk. It's not. It makes you have mucus if you're lactose sensitive. Oh God.
there's a lot of things that scare me more than milk.
So good, Automated.
Milk.
I like milk. I'm still trying to grow. I need my vitamin D.
Vitamin D isn't what makes you grow in milk. It's the calcium you're talking about and the protein. Never mind.
Crime. You don't have to scare people. You just have to show what's happening.
Absolutely. Whether it's crime or the border or inflation.
We just have to talk about these things, and you see the numbers have been going sideways, actually.
You know, Bill Clinton is talking about essentially Republicans are going to do it. But ultimately,
ultimately, we are, and that's exactly what we're doing right now.
really know is that Democrats are haunted by the idea of a red wave.
Yeah.
Whereas,
yes, which is very frightening. We're haunted by it. That's why we sell fear.
Bill Clinton is haunted by the idea of a blue dress.
Why? He served 2 terms. By the way, I would like to point out the fact that Steve Doocy said the only joke on this show so far, and he did it off the cuff. And this is Greg's show where he's supposed to be the funny one. Maybe they're right. Maybe he is the new Bill Maher. Oh.
Iris, last word to you.
Oh, dear.
I'm scary.
You are scary.
Yeah.
Why?
I'll whoop your ass.
I know you will.
Yeah, violence isn't necessarily scary just in the abstract. I'm just saying. Why? What's your intention? And by the way, maybe he's talking to Greg.
But here's the difference, though. This is real fear, and that's first world fear. MAGA's first world fear. The Dems live in the first world.
Yeah.
Yes, so do you, dummy.
They want us worrying about pronouns and stuff, and Republicans live down
in the third world.
On the ground, boots on the ground. They worry about inflation, education, crime. So they're in real tangible stuff that, and here's I hate to tell you this, Mr. Clinton, they are afraid. Americans are afraid. They see what's happening in our school systems, in our neighborhoods, in our cities, and
they should be afraid, be very afraid. And Republicans should use that fear to make people more afraid. And they should be, and they are afraid because they're naturally afraid of things that are naturally afraid.
And on our bank,
scary. And I will beat you up.
Accounts. So that's a real fear. So the only thing that you hope is the Republicans actually do something about it when they get in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a big, I understand that fear since Trump had 4 years and apparently did not drain the swamp, made it worse. That's weird. The FBI's fucked up more after he left because of the guy he put in theory. That's what they're saying. And we were still in Afghanistan and the Taliban was kidnapping people and holding them hostage while Trump was president. And Biden just got the last one freed.
Because nothing's worse than telling us we recognize your fears and not doing. At least you give it to Democrats. They live in space, so it doesn't matter if they do anything or not.
Yeah. Well, we are like the Star Trek people. We're working towards actual progress for humankind and getting along with everybody in spite of that fact. Even when even the Klingons are animals, fuck. But we can grow past that.
It's true. Right. It's true. You never expect anything from them. Yep. All right. Hey.
You never expect anything from Democrats or Republicans?
Matter if they do anything or not.
Yeah, it's true. Right. It's true. You never expect anything from them.
Yep.
And yet they do things anyways. Infrastructure bill, CHIPS Act, reshoring factories at a highest clip, cutting the deficit in half, unemployment cut in half, wages going up 5.6%. Why is he wearing a wrestling belt? I swear to God, everyone on this panel looks like a Mad Magazine drawing of a Fox guest. And by the way, that's the end of it. And then it cuts to.
All right. Hey.
All right. Video is a complete waste of time. You're watching Hal Sparks Mega Worldwide.